Praise the Lord. And it's been so long. Uh, I was supposed to meet you immediately after a month, but that was not possible. And God has given us this day to gather in His presence and to, talk about something that is so challenging to a lot of us. So uh, it's so good to see you all, again, and to hear lovely songs. I really enjoy the songs, which you all sing. God bless you all. And this topic per se is quite elaborate. Okay, so you may feel I'm rushing a little bit, but whenever you feel that there are questions, please note it down and we can take it up at the end. Okay, so just make sure that you just note it, and I'll share this content with you, so you all don't have to worry about that. I'll definitely share it with Brother Joby, and then he can pass it to y'all. So let's, without further ado, let's start off. I'll just share my screen. Okay, I hope it's visible. Those who have the bandwidth, please turn on the video if possible. Okay, so today's topic is overcoming addictions, and it's quite a huge topic. Okay, and it's a very prevalent one. Okay, we all battle some kind of addiction at some point of time. Okay, and let's all start talking about it, seeking help if needed, supporting each other through the process. And so let's go and see what is addiction. Okay, I hope it's visible. Okay, addiction comes from the Latin word enslaved or bound to. You saw the image of the person in in the starting, like chained, enslaved. Okay, this is where the term comes from. I'm not going to read the entire definition for you. This is the dictionary definition. So it is basically a need or yearning or craving for something which is habit forming. It could be a substance, it could be a behavior, it could be activity, which is known to have some kind of harmful effects. Okay, and withdrawal of which causes some kind of symptoms. Now the symptoms, we think that it's always be associated with alcohol, like tremors and all that. It may not be like that. It could be just anxiety when it is withdrawn. Okay, or irritability, anger. Okay, now addictions are something of how I would describe it. It's like an idol that you are dependent on. Okay, and it pulls you away from God, and you start depending on that substance or behavior or activity rather than on God. Okay, we use that addiction to escape some kind of pain or for pleasure. Okay, now many times modern psychology treats addiction as more of like a victim mindset, like, oh, like the biology is all messed up and that's why they are addicted. Okay, but the Bible gives it's more of a choice model, that is voluntary slavery. You choose to become enslaved or bound by. There is a choice element which God always brings in. Okay, it's not just, of course there is biochemistry, there's a lot of things happening in the brain, but there is a choice point also. Okay, now moving on to the symptoms of addiction. Basically there is some kind of desire to cut down, there's frequent interactions with these addictions, there's withdrawal challenges, negative consequences, limited control, significant time and energy spent. You start neglecting or postponing activities. All these are symptoms of addictions, and at least 3 should be present for it to be termed as an addiction. Okay, now there is a threefold effect on our brain. There is craving for the object of addiction, loss of control over its use, and continuing involvement with it despite the adverse consequences. This person knows that this is bad. Okay, and this quote that I found is so beautiful. When you can stop, you don't want to, and when you want to stop, you can't. Okay, that is addiction. Okay, so many times when we think of addiction, we think of this image that a person is drunk and all reeling under the effects of drugs or alcohol. But what I have observed in many clients is they oscillate between two extremes. Okay, there's one group of people who say, no, I'm not addicted or anything, it's not that bad, I can stop. I do that, but I have it under control. Okay, it's not as bad. Okay, and or they say statements like I'm not the only one, like there are many. So they undermine their addiction. That is one side. Another side is like totally given up. I don't think, I'm too deep into this, I don't think I can come out. Okay, so it's all lost. So many people oscillate. Either they tell that it's like nothing, it's not that bad, or they say it's like really bad and I don't have any hope of coming out. Okay, these are the two extremes where people oscillate. Now coming to, this is an interesting depiction. I hope you all can see it well. Okay, yeah, one second. So this is like a way in which different types of addictions are depicted. One could be shopping, gambling, work. Yeah, many times we think that all this is not addiction, but yes, when it goes beyond a point, it is termed as an addiction. Internet, that is digital addiction. Okay, there is something called as substance addiction, that is you're addicted to a substance, like that could be drugs, alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, food. Okay, so overindulgence is also an addiction. There are people addictions, like there are relationships, there is love addiction, there is sex addiction, codependency, like they're so addicted to that relationship, to that person, that it's not able to, you can't disconnect. Feeling addictions, without having any control over the feelings. Thought addictions, that is persistently they start thinking about certain things. That is where obsessional thinking comes into play. All these are kind of different types of addictions. Now there are few that come in merged, like for example digital addiction. I would say it comes between activity addiction, thought addiction. It's like a merger, because you are thinking something, you are mindlessly scrolling through your phone. Porn addiction would be something which is activity addiction. People addiction, because it is addiction to sex. Okay, I will be speaking about certain addictions later, okay, as we go along. And what you can observe here is there's something at the, all this we can see on the surface, all the branches. Okay, now deep down there's something that's going on. Okay, many times there is stress, there's a lot of pain underlying. There could be abuse in the past, there could be something like grief which has not been taken care of properly. There could be some kind of anger, there can be boredom, because a lot of people when they're bored they oscillate towards addictions. There could be loneliness, there could be fear, decreased self-worth, which makes them go for addictions. Dysfunctional families, rigid rules, perfectionism, because they have been brought up in a situation where everything has to be perfect, and then they start obsessing, and this is one way in which they can release that rigidity. Okay, so many times when we deal with addicts, just cutting off the branches on top may not help. Okay, so we need to go deeper, and that is where we need to, either you can start analyzing where is this coming from, or you can take help. That's what we do through the process of counseling therapy. We dig deeper and find out what is the root cause. Okay, so this is just one way of seeing addictions, the different types of addictions. Okay, now there's something called as the cycle of addiction. Okay, so usually, as I said, the root, okay, there's something at the root, and this triggers. There are certain triggers that come, emotional triggers. It could be loneliness, boredom, whatever. Okay, and there is this craving that comes in. Okay, then we give in, and there is addiction activity. What happens after the addiction activity? There is relief. Okay, because otherwise, if there was no relief, you wouldn't go back there, right? So there's some kind of temporary relief that comes in. Immediately after the relief, that weight of guilt, shame, regret, oh no, why did I do this? Okay, and then you sit in that, and after some time, what happens? As time passes, again something is coming, some trigger, and then the process starts again. Now, don't you want to hop off this cycle? Okay, so many times we want to hop off, but we may not be able to do that. So let's see, this is one program that was actually started, and it is currently going on. Fortify program, that is to deal with porn addiction. Okay, now I would want you all to just have a look about how it looks. Okay, so many times at the starting of this, you can see here that at the start there are some kind of discomforts, there's some kind of emotions that start. You can see the start. Okay, and discomforts of life set in. We want some kind of relief from this discomfort. What we do, there is a choice. There's a choice of opting for a healthy response, healthy coping mechanism to deal with that discomfort or stress of life, or we can start, let me try and experiment with this. So you start thinking of the idea of using. This could be, any kind of addiction. Okay, I don't think in only one term. It could be true for all kinds of addictions. Okay, now once we entertain the idea, slowly we go see. Here also there is a choice. There is always a choice of hopping off the cycle. Okay, and choosing a more healthy coping mechanism. Sometimes we are not able to do that. Okay, then we go on towards using. Then again there is a choice. It's like autopilot mode. Okay, I don't know how many of y'all have been through that process. Many may be struggling through that process. So you feel that you just not able to come off this. Okay, and then there is using, and then there is experiencing harmful effects of the addiction. Every point you can see that there is a choice point. Every it's like every turn there is a choice point of choosing a healthy response to cope with your discomforts. And as you experience this harmful effects, you can see that nothing has changed, right? It's just that you have added more to the problem. Like earlier there were discomforts in life, and now to add to it the stress of dealing with this addiction, so it's just multiplied. Okay, so instead of that, let us choose to hop off the cycle. Okay, and I will tell you, I will guide you how we need to do this. Okay, now let us see the mind of a person who thinks he or she wants to hop off. Okay, it's very interesting how a person's mind goes through the challenges the person goes through when they choose to hop off this cycle. Okay, there are several stages. Let's see one of this. The first stage. Okay, the first stage is pre-contemplation. Means this person first initially is like, no, I'm enjoying this too much. I don't think I can get off the cycle, or I really don't want to change. Actually, no, this is not for me. I can manage. I don't need to change. No one can change me. So there's a lot of resistance. Okay. Now, as I go through these stages, I want you all to remember you can apply it for yourself, and you can apply it to someone who is struggling, like suppose your friend, suppose your colleague, or suppose your church member. A person comes and tells you, this is something I'm dealing with. You can talk to them, and at each stage I will give you some things which you can do to be able to help that person or help yourself. If you are struggling, you can help yourself. So in this stage, if you are in this stage like, no, this is like I'm enjoying this too much to stop, it is good to start searching for why is this a problem. Okay, start your research, start analyzing why is this bad. Is this bad or is this good? Okay, if it's not good, what is so bad in this? Okay, this stage you can do that, raising awareness. So at each stage I'll give you some primary task which you can apply to yourself if you're going through some addiction, or you can apply it for someone else who's struggling with it. Okay, the next stage is contemplation. Now the person goes into this stage where, okay, I think this is not that good. I think I need to stop. This person sees the possibility of change, but really doesn't want to. It's like a struggle. Okay, here you can help the person, or you can help yourself by helping the person to, this is what needs to be done. Understanding, many times whenever we take a decision, we do that, pros and cons. So making that person understand, or making yourself understand why you really need to choose, what are the benefits of actually changing. Okay, the next is preparation. Now when I see clients, many people, they think they are in this preparation phase, but actually they are in the contemplation stage. Okay, many people think they are in preparation. No, I am prepared. I am like, yes, I have decided I am going to change now. But many people don't even realize that they're actually in the contemplation stage. Okay, how do you differentiate between the two? Preparation, actually the person has like a game plan. Okay, and no, this is, I have to get off this, and this is my strategy. Okay, this is like a battle game plan. They are prepared. Okay, now what to do? Okay, the to-do list, they're committed to change. Now the next is, the person has like a clear decision to change and starts implementing. That is the fourth stage, that is action. So here we can actually try to help the person with the implementation part. When you do this, sometimes this may happen, so these are the, you may fall at this point. So let's see what we can do to not allow relapse to occur. Okay, so we went through 4 stages. Now other than this, there are 2 more. Maintenance. So now you're going good, you have a lot of zeal, and you have actually done good steps to overcome this addiction. But many times as we are going through, it can become like a lull. Okay, so there could be some new skills to tackle it, so that you keep yourself motivated to be able to maintain what you're doing. You're doing a great job, keep it up. Okay, then sometimes, oops, there's a relapse. Okay, so sometimes it's not necessary, but sometimes it comes. This is part of the process. So sometimes when you go into relapse, cope with the consequences and come back right on track. Okay, help the person who's struggling, okay, to come right on track. Now let's see, why do we actually need to quit? Like I said, you should have your reasons clear. Okay, or else this is all going to be in vain. Now let's just read 3 verses. Can someone help me reading these 3 verses? First John, you can read it off the screen itself. First John 2:15 to 17. First John 2:15 to 17. And go on.
Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it. But he who does the will of God abides forever.
Thank you.
Deceptions of the lust.
Yeah, you can go on and read Romans 8, 5, 6, and 13. You can read it off the screen. Hello. Yeah.
To the flesh set their minds on the things of flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body,
You will live. Thank you. And Ephesians 5, 18, 20, do not be drunk with wine, in which is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things to God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. So you can see there are so many verses in the Bible that tell us that we should not be slaves to addictions. I don't have the time, so we are not going to go into each verse, but I'll give you the references. Please go through this, and we understand that these, especially this, we are all familiar. These are temptations of a godless world: the lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life. Okay, so what these basically mean is, what we see. It could be literalized, it could be even what we are, inside from internally, what is our desire. Lust of the flesh, lust of the body. So anything in excess, like, emotions in excess, selfishness, sexual sins, food, everything which we crave for, which our body craves for, and which, show that we are not able to control, ourselves. Then many times, pride of life, I would say, is that selfishness that we all, are very familiar with. We have this enjoyment and selfishness. Mine, I, me, myself, we stay in such a world right now. It's very sad, actually. Okay, but this is not the life which God wants us to live. Now, why is that? Because we are new, right? We are a new creation. We're born again, right? So we have walked. Romans 8, if you read, it's so clear. We are not called to walk according to the flesh. We are called to walk according to the Spirit, and what the Spirit tells us. Okay, on the old man's side, there is blindness. Here our eyes are opened, and even after opening our eyes, so sad. Now we are again, sometimes we crave what the flesh. This ongoing battle that goes on. And my dear brothers and sisters, this battle is real. It happens. It's written in the Bible. There's many times this tug of war because we are living in this flesh. But let's not underestimate what God has given us. He has given us everything possible. It's written in the Bible. So He has given us everything to be able to overcome this. The Spirit is dwelling in us. Okay, and we are not called for this bondage, for this slavery. Many times we think that, God putting all these rules, don't be addicted, this, we think of it as a burden. But the joy, the bliss that He's giving on the other side, the abundance that He's giving, is actually nothing compared to the joy, the pleasures of sin. Nothing. So every time, I love this, statement which I heard in one of the sermons. Every time we indulge in our addictions and give in to our pleasures, we are calling and telling God, no, you're not enough. I need this more. What you have done for me is not enough. This is better. The next time you pick up that phone, the next time you're going to, indulge in some addiction which you know is wrong, remind yourself about this. What God did for you on the cross, was it not enough? Was Him shedding His own precious blood not enough? Every time we indulge in that, are we saying to God, no, it's not enough. Your love is not enough for me? Are we saying that to Him? Let's, examine ourselves. Let's see if we are doing that. Okay. Now, I'll just go through the common addictions that are, very, very prevalent. Okay. Digital addiction, internet, I think we are all familiar with that, right? We are like literally living in the midst of that. And, I would say I'm, I'll be lying if there are times where even I have, mindlessly scrolled many times. We don't even realize how much time is going, right? So that's how much of impact the internet, digital media has on us. Video games, porn addiction, sex addiction, substances like alcohol, food, tobacco, nicotine. Okay, food addictions, work. Many times people think that no, that is all not addiction. Like we think like all the big stuff, all that stuff is addiction, but this is all okay. But if you're giving so much of importance and so much of your time that to work and to anything, relationships, and you're just neglecting on the other side, you're not paying attention to anything else, there's a problem. That even that is an addiction. Okay, shopping, there are so many kinds of addictions. Okay, now digital addictions, I think you all are very familiar, more than me. In fact, you all would definitely know the, what's happening, the texting. Many times I've noticed how we, all of us, just go on scrolling. Does it ever end? Kabhi khatam hota hai wo? Nahi na? So we go on scrolling. It is designed to not end. Okay. It is designed to be addicted. If you see the way they have designed the apps, just look at, observe those apps. You can see the way it's so attractive. Okay, on white background there'll be different bright colors. You will feel like clicking. That is how it is designed. Interesting thing is, they have, like, the big companies have hired behavioral experts to be able to design apps, design features so that it is made addictive. Okay, so that is how it is designed. Okay, now likes, when you get notifications, when you get likes, how you feel good na? इतने लोगों ने देखा मेरा पोस्ट, हाँ, इतने likes मिले मुझे, ओ कम है, ज्यादा है. So why do you get that? हाँ, you feel that's how it is designed. Okay, the lights, the sounds. Okay. And do you know one interesting thing? Notifications, when you get these notifications, many times the thing that is produced in our body, actually stress hormones. Imagine how much of stress hormones are generated in our body. We'll think, no, I don't have stress, but you see, every time that notification comes, we pick up the phone, right? Fight and flight. All these mechanisms actually are in our body for, when you face, like, for example, if you go and face a tiger, danger hai, so how you respond, that is the response that our body is giving every time you get, like, pick up notification. Arey kya aaya? Like this. This is what is happening. Okay, imagine how much of stress our body is undergoing. Is it worth it? We really need to think. I know our life is literally on the phone these days, but let's all be very, very careful. And there's one UK report for the BBC states that say people pick up their phones at least every 12 minutes. This was a survey in 2019. So I think it is quite, 12 minutes is like too much. हम लोग 5-5 मिनट में उठाते हैं ना, तो इट्स लाइक it becomes every time we pick up the phone. Okay, and 78% said we can't live without it. Can we think of times when you just keep your phone and you don't live without the phone? Like, everything you may forget, but you won't forget your phone, no? So this is the power of digital, addictions. And just one question I'll tell. Does anyone have to teach children to get addicted? बच्चों को फोन देते हैं ना, तो डू वी टीच देम, अरे नहीं ऐसे बैठना है, नहीं, automatically you give them the phone, automatically the child starts getting addicted. That is how it is designed, and it's so scary. Okay, that nowadays this gadget is available to small children. Okay, so the parents here, the people who are going to become parents, please be mindful. What are you giving? What are you substituting your love and affection for? Okay, now going on to the porn addiction. Okay, today we are living in a world which is sexually charged. Now, what is this term sexually charged? We may think, no, I don't watch hardcore, porn content. Okay, but even the way people are dressed today, the images that come into our phones, many times we don't even feel anything about it, right? There's so much of desensitization. Desensitization means bar, if you're exposed to something again and again and again, nothing happens. That is called desensitization. Okay, so if there is a spectrum, hardcore porn content is on this spectrum, and many times society says, this is all okay, this is all nothing, that may be a problem. Okay, but all this is not. And one sad fact I'd like to tell you, the DSM, that is the manual for diagnosing, the DSM doesn't even recognize porn as an official mental health diagnosis. It is not even considered, and it is so prevalent among our children, so prevalent nowadays. Okay, so there is no way to isolate. We can't go around like this. We can't, we should learn how to deal with it. When things come up, what do I do? Okay, instead of saying, "Arey, main kya karu? It's already out there. I can't do anything." Instead of saying that, how to deal better when you see something like that, when you actually are encountering something like that. And I'll just tell few interesting facts about what is happening in our body when we actually undergo any kind of addiction, for that matter, not just porn. There's something called as dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, norepinephrine. All these are big terms, Okay, these are these chemicals that get produced. Okay, chemical messengers, kind of neurotransmitters. There is flooding of dopamine. When God made us, He made us with these chemicals, with these, various kinds of hormones, which normally get secreted. But when you watch porn or when you indulge in some addiction, okay, substance, even drugs, alcohol, ये dopamine का overload होता है. Got it? It's like a flooding of dopamine, which is not actually normal. Okay, and do you know what happens over time? Research has proved that even parts of your brain actually start shrinking a bit because of overuse. Imagine that. Imagine a part of your brain starting to shrink because of this overload of again and again. That is why digital addiction, all these addictions, they're called dopamine junkies, because they're constantly, there's this dopamine flooding into our body, which is actually not natural. God has not created it like that. Okay, so what happens over time? There is desensitization. Matlab, once you see, many people I have observed, those who are indulging in porn addictions, they get desensitized. Like, this is not enough any longer. They have to go beyond. They have to go beyond that, and it comes to a point where The normal doesn't actually give, actually it is so beautifully created by God, to release good hormones, feel good hormones, but all that gets destroyed because of this addiction. So dear brothers, dear sisters, please be mindful of what are we doing to our bodies. There's another hormone, oxytocin. What happens is we start bonding with, see, when you're watching porn, we are actually seeing images, right? We're not seeing, we are seeing through the screen. So we start bonding to images rather than real relationships. God has created oxytocin. Oxytocin is called the love hormone. Okay, when you hug someone, when you play with a child, this releases oxytocin. But how we are destroying that, and we are actually breaking real relationships. Okay, then serotonin, again, all this are hormones which are secreted. Now coming again, why do we get addicted? Because this comes in and we feel that without this, iske bina I cannot survive. Okay, it goes into that mode. Usually what is our survival? This roti, kapda, makan, this is all this survival basic things we need in life to survive. But in addiction, it reaches a point where we need this. Our brain is hardwired, all this happens in our brain, by which we say that without this I cannot survive. That is the point of addiction. Okay, now addictive happiness is not the same as true happiness. You can see if this is brain, so you can see dopamine is released. You remember I told you dopamine rush, dopamine flooding. This happens, see, addictions mein this front part is getting dopamine. Okay, but when real happiness, real joy from within happens, see the flooding of serotonin all over, right? And this is short term. Dopamine is just short term, temporary relief. That's why you have to go back now. This is something that comes from within. It's a long term satisfaction, contentment. Dopamine, you feel it in your body. When you get that pleasure, you feel it in your body. This is more a sensation above your neck. Okay, this is dopamine always takes. It's all selfish. Ye chahiye, mujhe chahiye, my thing, like shopping, eating, drinking. It's all about ourselves. Okay, satisfying. That is what lust of the flesh. You satisfy yourself. Serotonin, see what happens when you hang out with friends, when you go and you imagine, have you done that? I don't know, gone to an orphanage or gone to an old age home, spend some time with them. That happiness that comes is very, very different. Okay, and too much of dopamine leads to addiction. Too little of serotonin leads to depression. Okay, so when we treat clients with depression, we actually focus on how to naturally boost serotonin. And if not, if sometimes they need medicines to be able to do that. Okay, now, are your stakes good enough? Do you really want to stop your addiction? Okay, I'll just tell you an example. This is, I don't know if you have heard of him, John Piper. Yeah, his messages, if you hear, it's really challenging. Okay, I'll tell you. Suppose you're addicted to porn. Okay, or suppose you're addicted to your phone. You take up your phone and you're going to watch a video, okay, which is not right, and somebody comes in, rushes, somebody comes into the room and brings in your close dear one, okay, yeah, whatever, whomever, like your brother, your parent, or someone, and they're holding a gun and saying, if you watch that video, I'm going to kill this person. Will you watch? No. We'll say, no, don't kill. I'll keep the phone. No. Right? That person's voice we are listening to. But are you listening to God's voice? God is constantly telling you, don't do this, child. Don't do this, son. Don't do this, daughter. But how many times we are disregarding God's voice? If someone came actually in the room and threatened, we won't do it. But God is telling us so tenderly, so affectionately, and we are not regarding His voice. Okay. Now, another instance is, imagine you're going to see something that is not good. Okay. If your boss was there, or if a politician or someone influential, or anyone for that matter, your parent, your spouse is there, would you watch it? No, right? We wouldn't. Like, if someone is there with us, we wouldn't watch that content. Okay. But we think we are alone. But my dear friends, we are not alone. God is there, and we are disregarding His presence. Every time you choose to click that button, we are actually disregarding His presence. We are disregarding His voice. We are also disregarding a person created in God's image. Remember, every person is in God's image. Even the people in the video, or even the people whom you are lusting for, that person is also in God's image, and you are disregarding God's creation. The next time you're going to do it, just think about this. Okay, this makes us, again and again think, is it worth it? Okay, so coming to the main part, how to overcome. That is our topic. Okay, I was talking about addictions, what happens in our brain, and all that. Why we need to quit. What through the Word of God, what are the things why we need to quit. Now, coming to overcoming temptations or addictions. So first of all, I have put everything in R's, the letter R. Okay, realize reasons. First of all, why you want to quit. Why you want to quit, why you are addicted. I remember that tree with the root. Okay, understand that there is something bottom. Sometimes for some people it may be some kind of stress. Okay, what is going on beneath? Why am I getting addicted? Okay, understand that. Think. Okay, realize the reasons. Next, repent and re-establish. हम लोग क्या सोचते हैं? No, we'll do one thing. पहले मैं ये sin tackle करती हूँ. I will overcome this and then I'll come to God. No. Do it the other way. Come to God. Slowly the sin will go off your life. Re-establish your connection with God. Have a consistent time with Him. Automatically, we think that, how can I come into God's presence? I'm such a sinner. I can't even come near Him. First, I'll rectify all this and then I'll go. No. Come to God. He's waiting. He's waiting with His arms wide open to receive you. Okay, repent, re-establish your connection with God. Reach out to the right sources. Another R. Reach out to the right sources. Now, when I mean this, what I mean by this is, either you can try it on your own. If you're feeling it too much to do it on your own, please reach out to people who are experienced, therapists, support groups, your mentors, even in church, people whom you trust, with confidentiality. This person will not, judge me for what I'm doing. Okay, accountability. Now, this is a very important word. Okay, accountability. Someone whom you can bank on at any point. Okay, reach out to that resource. Have like one person or two people, have this accountability group. Okay, now routine. My dear brothers and sisters, please keep a routine, keep busy, develop new skills, learn, use that time. Imagine if you take up your phone. I don't know how many of y'all have done this. Just watch how much of time in a day you spend on the phone. You will get like a knock on the head, like, oh my, this is a lot of time. Okay, we can use that time so constructively. Okay, learn new skills, keep yourself busy. Now, another thing is distract. Okay, distract in the sense is keep devices build some kind of plan. Like you can distract when you get this. You can go out somewhere. Okay. Then respond well to stress. Understand what is going on and respond properly. Okay. Now, a very important, recognize triggers. कभी क्या होता है एडिक्शंस में, some people their trigger is बोर होते हैं तभी एडिक्शन आता है. अकेले है, so many people have told me like when I'm alone, जब मैं अकेला रहता हूँ तब भी होता है. तो understand that is loneliness is your trigger. Understand your trigger and understand how to keep your digital devices out of your spaces during that time. Okay, like out of your bedrooms. Keep your digital devices out of your private spaces, bedrooms, washrooms. Please keep your devices away from there. Okay, they don't belong there. Buy one old alarm clock. If some people tell me nahi alarm rakhna hai, iske liye mujhe phone chahiye, nahi, buy that old fashioned alarm clock. That also works. It will wake you on time. Okay, wake you up on time. So digital detox. Keep this fixed time. Okay, there are a lot of apps. I can give you the names of these apps, like for Android, Screen Time, FamiSafe. I'll be sending you these resources, so don't worry, I'll give it to you. So you can actually, these apps are designed to be able to restrict the time, right? When you go overboard, like you can set a limit and they switch off. Some of them switch off, some of them log off, like come out of that what you're watching. So there are different for Android, there are different apps for iPhone. Okay, for porn addiction, Fortify, like I showed you, the Fortify program, Covenant Eyes, all these are actually good reliable sources to be able to wean you, get you off this addictions. Okay, now when I say you have to have an accountability group or person, I mean that you can actually reach out. Like suppose that person has to be there, and that can happen two ways. Okay, I've seen this happening. Like clients, they can come up with one person. Isko मैं कभी, I can phone him anytime or phone her anytime. Okay, so I can pick up the phone and say, Arey, I'm going through this. Okay, so what do I do now? That person is like, okay, I'm here, let's talk. Okay, because this craving, this addiction, that rush comes up and it goes up. If you are able to overcome that urge slowly weans off. So understand that, and at that time, if you have someone with you, that is why go. If you feel that urge, just go out. If it's like during the day, go out. Some people start exercising during that time so that they get their mind off, and then you can return to your work. Okay, so taking care of that urge. Okay, socializing, change your communication patterns. Every time, don't take your phone for everything. Many times, even to call, like just go outside, call that person, don't text. Okay, many times we are so dependent on our phones. Another important R is RED. And what is RED? Rest, that is sleep, exercise, diet. Okay, this is extremely RED. Okay, rest, exercise, diet. This is very important, because if you are depriving your body of certain things, of sleep, of exercise, your mind is tired, body is tired, you indulge in more and more of these addictions, which actually doesn't help anything. Okay, now, so for beating those cravings, I want you all to recognize the triggers. Like I said, write it in detail. Recognize what is happening, write it. मुझे गुस्सा आता है तो मैं शॉपिंग करने जाती हूँ, और मुझे बोर होता है तो मैं खाती हूँ, मुझे कुछ स्ट्रेस आता है तो मैं ज्यादा खाती हूँ और खाता हूँ. तो you write it down, write in details, so the next time you're bored, okay, this is happening. Come with that escape plan, that battle, strategy. Pray to God. Pray to God. When you get that urge, tell God, God, I'm struggling. Wait. Please help me right now. Okay, God will help you. His spirit will help you overcome. He is very powerful. So don't say that, addictions have control over me. God is more powerful than your addictions. Okay, repeat the process. This is something very interesting that I found out while dealing with one client. Was when he or she was watching the, for example, they were dealing with porn. Okay, when they were watching, they started repeating, like the urge, like, this is अभी dopamine release हो रहा है मेरे brain में, मुझे ऐसा हो रहा है इसलिए मैं attract हो रहा हूँ. So they were repeating that process, which made them like overcome their cravings. They understood that when they were understanding what is the process, abhi mere body mein kya chal raha hai, immediately they were able to overcome those cravings. You can try these methods out, see what works. Reach out to an accountable person during those cravings. Distract the cravings, wean off. Okay, the biggest sexual organ is our brain. It was told by Ted Roberts. So your brain is the origin. Okay, so we say it is more of, no, my age is like that, and this and that. Your brain, what you channelize your thoughts. Okay, clean routine and feel good hormones. Like I said, these hormones naturally body mein hai, and we can generate them through healthy ways. Spending time with God, quiet time, reading His Word, getting from His Word, maintaining a clean diet, exercise, go out in the sun, don't stay in the room all day long. Okay, keep engaged, have small goals and achieve them. Okay, laugh, have a social life, do some charity, help people. Okay, have a good work-life balance, have breaks. All these are, ways in which you can overcome addictions. Now, with regards to food, don't eat too much of sugar. The sugar, trans fats, oily, fried food, refined food, packet mein jo aata hai, foods, such bakery foods, all these artificial sweeteners, all this actually starves and deprives your brain. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, the foods that are good for your brain, I hope you can see these. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so good balance between macronutrients, that is carbs, proteins. Serotonin is, you remember, serotonin deficient and you go depressed. So what is serotonin resources? Eggs, pineapples, bananas, nuts, seeds. And no need to go too much, no need to buy something imported and all. Eat local food, eat what is available, good food, local food from what is available in your markets. Don't go and searching for things which are very fancy. Okay, magnesium, zinc, nuts, seeds, fish. Okay, very good, very important. Okay, colorful fruits and like a variety, locally available. Okay, don't starve your brain. Okay, now these are few books, websites. Again, I will send you this, don't worry. I'll send you resources how you can. This is specifically for porn addiction. There are others for digital addiction, so you can go ahead and see how it works. Now, today morning during as we conclude, I'll conclude, and today morning as we were having our family prayer, actually through the song so beautifully, I've sung that song so many times, but so beautifully God actually spoke to me. There's a line, granting the captive sweet release, shedding His blood to make us free. You remember God, the first image that I showed you was a person in bondage. But God has given us, He has shed His blood to make us free, to break those chains. Okay. And you remember when that person who was possessed, who was, staying in the tombs. Okay. And this mad person, he didn't have sense. When God healed him, when God removed the, lesion from his body, That the verse is so beautifully written. He was seen sitting in the right mind. Right mind. That is God's healing. He brings you to your right mind. And then what did the people do? They came, and because they lost all those, their herd, they came and they said, Jesus, go from here. But this person is telling, can I come with you? That is the healing from Jesus. From God, the healing that you get, you cannot go back living in the tombs. That's how He heals you. Okay. And may each one of you, those who have experiencing addictions, may God help you through this, to be able to experience His healing, which is the ultimate. Nothing else works like His healing. Okay. And as I conclude, I'd like to tell, there is no chemical solution to a spiritual problem. No amount of chemicals, no amount of dopamine is going to sort out a spiritual problem.